With his 30-plus years of experience on stage and lively personality, it has made him one of the top corporate comedians and MCs working today, and he will be at Comedy Off-Broadway.
So grab your ticket right this very second, because today we welcome comedian Scott Henry to Everyday Kentucky.
Thank you very much for having me on, guys.
Absolutely. So we have this new venue, and you are heading out there. Comedy Off-Broadway, tell us all about it.
Well, Comedy Off-Broadway actually started on Broadway back in, I think, 1987, and I'm so old I actually played it then. And now it's out at off of Nicholasville Road there, and Comedy Off-Broadway. And, you know, it's one of the top clubs in the country, which is amazing. Jordan, the owner, is very good at picking the talent, and you know, we just went and saw Tom Segura there, so you have, you know, it's really an honor to be playing this club. And so I'm very happy tonight. We have one show tonight. We have 2 Friday and Saturday. So come see us at the club.
What can we expect from your show for people who haven't seen it?
Well, I've had 3 of my own sitcoms in my life. They're all back when I was coming up. That's what you did.
Right.
You know, just like in Everybody Loves Raymond and all that kind of stuff. And you did stuff about your family. So I do a lot of stuff about my family back in Wisconsin. And then I talk a lot about my little girl and my wife. And so my comedy is to relate through everybody.
You were also on The King of Queens, isn't that correct? How was that experience?
Well, it was really interesting because it was the second to the last episode. So it was a really interesting vibe around the area. You know, everybody was about to leave and move on to the next thing. But, you know, I've known Kevin James for a very long time, and I did the show, and Leah and them are absolute like match made in heaven for TV. They were a perfect combination, and that's where the show was great. So I really enjoyed it, and I've always loved the show.
Yeah,
it did a very entertaining show, of course, on CBS for several years.
Yeah.
And here we go. I mean, you're out here. You're going to be performing right here in Lexington. What's it like to come to a club like that? Because it's so small and so quaint, and you can really see the faces out in the crowd, can't you?
You know what? It's really fun to play theaters, but there's no replacing a comedy club. Mm-hmm. You put a lot of people in a small space with low ceilings, the energy. It's like, do you ever watch a really funny movie at home and you're like, yeah, it was really funny, but you go to a theater and you watch it with 250 people and you're all laughing, and then you're laughing at the lady that snorts when she laughs.
Yes.
And, you know, somebody spilled a Coke, you know what I mean? And so it's great energy, and that club is set up absolutely perfect too.
So how can we find more information about your comedy show? How can we get tickets? Give us all the good jazz.
Well, go on Comedy Off-Broadway's website, and you can buy tickets right on there. Tonight we have a 7 o'clock show if you want to come and get that quickly. And I also wanted to mention one other thing. My wife and I own a comedy network, which means that we host podcasts, and we also have live streaming events and things like this. And our mission for Big Comedy Network is a lot of women are underheard voices in this business with comedy. You either don't know who they are or you know who they are. There's no middle ground. And the problem with that is we're helping people that are underrepresented as well as female voices in comedy. And because when I was coming up, the comedy clubs did the advertising. We would come on shows like this and people bring in. Now you have to have 1 million followers. You have to edit all your videos. It's a full-time job now. And some people don't have that skill set or the finances. So what we do is we bring them onto our network, and we allow their talent to come through so we can take care of all the other stuff for them. And we have some really, really good podcasters and some really, really talented people, and just signed a couple of new folks too. So we just launched about 6 months ago, and we're coming up right now. So please come and support us. It's I Love Big Comedy on Instagram, and on YouTube it's Big Comedy Network. So come and support us, subscribe, and really support the voice of the female.
So what are we seeing on Big Comedy Network? Because that's obviously YouTube. So what are we seeing? Are we seeing like stand-up performances? Are we seeing the podcast format where people are sitting down having a conversation and just laughing and having a good time? Or what is it?
It's all vodcasts right now. And but because we only launched 6 months ago, we will be doing specials, and we have a show on Amazon Prime right now that you can find. It's called All American Sex Offender. But it's a female, and it's a really funny premise. She got fired from her job, and you know, she goes to a bar and she gets inebriated, and then she goes and relieves herself in a bush by a school, and then the cops find her, and she becomes a sex offender. And now she has to meet everybody in the neighborhood, and it's very, very funny. It's this woman's an award-winning director and filmmaker, and so we have a lot of really talented people that, like I said, that we're trying to expose to the world.
Excellent. Thank you so very much.
My pleasure.
Come see him over at Comedy Off-Broadway.